بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me this blessing of being with you here, and it's great honor for me to meet my brothers and sisters in Wilaya, and I hope inshallah the time that we spend together would be a time which we would remember for rest of our life, and we draw inshallah very good lessons from it for our life inshallah. I thought now I talk a little bit about Salat. A very important aspect of our spiritual growth is Salat. Sometimes or many times we underestimate the things that we have been given, and we look for something that we have not been given. So, we look in other planets for some solutions and not seeing, it's in front of you. I think Salat is one of those blessings of Allah that we have never appreciated enough. We have never understood what is Salat. And the reason is, or the main reason for this is, because we have thought Salat is what we say and we do. And we don't see that much impact, any change coming from Salat. So we think, okay, so this is something normal. Like for example, if you take a medicine and if it doesn't work, then you lose your trust in that medicine, yeah? And then the one who said to take this medicine also he exaggerated. Because we don't feel any change after many years of praying. Or we see there are people who pray but they do lots of other mischief. So we think Salat is something very normal, and we wonder why so much emphasis is put on Salat, that we say is khayrul amal, is amudud din, in qubilat qubila ma siwaha wa in ruddat rudda ma siwaha. Why Rasulullah said Salat is my qurratul ayn, and my example with respect to Salat is like someone who is hungry and thirsty. I become hungry and thirsty for Salat, but the difference is that after you are hungry, if you take food, your hunger is finished. If you are thirsty, you take water, you're thirsty, but my thirst and hunger for Salat never finish, even if I say my Salat. So we don't understand what we experience and see in other people, and what Islam says is totally different. So we may think it's exaggeration. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to sell his product, he's exaggerating, na'udhu billah. But this is not exaggeration. The point here is that Salat is not something material or physical that would have the same impact on another physical object. Even now, I think medicine can tell us that even with respect to body and chemicals, it's not that chemicals always have the same impact on body, although our body is material, but sometimes two people take the same medicine, for one of them works, for the other doesn't work, yeah, or works better. But when it comes to soul, and it is not a chemical, it's something spiritual like Salat, then the people's experience is totally different. Actually, some people may say Salat and become worse. Not only they may not remain the same, even sometimes people become proud of their Salat. Yeah? Like Khawarij, they took their constant practice of Salat as a sign of being on the right path. So you may say salat, you may recite Quran, you may do ziyarah, hajj, and become worse. It's quite possible. رُبَّ تَالِ الْقُرْآنُ وَالْقُرْآنُ يَلْعَنُهُ. There are many people who recite the Quran and the Quran curses them. So if you are cursed by the Quran, so it means that after recitation you become worse. وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. So salat can leave very different impact on us. It can be like a poison. It can harm you. It can be just neutral. You don't feel any difference, not better, not worse. And it can change you. How much it can change you? How much energy is in salat? How much light is in salat? In all acts of worship that we have, salat is special. We have lots of acts of worship. You can do lots of zikr, istighfar, hajj, recitation, many things. But salat is special. Allah has especially designed salat. As we have in hadith, as-salatu khayru mawdu'in. Mawdu' means ja'l. The best thing which has been designed is salat. Salat has so much of power that even someone like Rasulullah can gain from salat. You know, if the Hujjah of Allah can benefit from salat, if you read, a hadith about Ista'inu bis-sabr wa salat, you find many hadiths that Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam say, whenever, for example, this imam or that imam, they had a special hajah, they used to say prayer and then getting their hajah. So if someone like Rasulullah, someone like imams, they can gain through salat, what about us? We should be able to gain a lot. We cannot say salat is just for the beginners, for example. Salat just gives you a little. Even Rasulullah can benefit. Ista'inu bis-sabr wa salat. You can benefit from salat. So, how much we can gain from salat? In my understanding, there is no limit. If we get really connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through salat, there is no limit in what we can gain. The only thing that limits is whether we are paying full attention, whether we are honest or not. I give you an example. If you are in a country or in a company or in a university, okay, and you have problems, big problems, and you are not able to solve your problems. What do you look for? You look for an opportunity that you can have the hearing of the head of that country or company or university. Yeah, you say, if I can meet 5 minutes the king, then I am sure he would help me. Just you ask everyone, you beg everyone, could you please help me to get 5 minutes meeting with the king? If after lots of difficulties, someone says, I arrange for you, you kiss his hand. That, thank you very much, you managed to get for me 5 minutes, I talk to the king and king listens to me. But when you go and meet the king, you have to be careful about few things. First, when you explain your problem to the king, you must make sure that you are not the cause of the problem. For example, you go to the king and say, I killed someone, they want to put me in jail, please help me. He says, take him to the jail. You have killed someone, yeah? I am, hurting my neighbors or my family members, please help me. I have been impolite with my boss and, So when we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first we have to make sure that we are not cause of the problem. Many times, I can tell you, maybe 90% of the times, either we are the sole responsible for our problems, or at least part of the problem. We think we are very innocent. I am an angel and I am innocent. Just I don't know why people, don't appreciate me. Why my wife, my husband, my in-laws, my friends, they don't appreciate me. There is such a blessing for them, they don't appreciate. Not knowing so much of problem is in us that we don't see. We just see problems in other people. So when you go to the king, you have to make sure that you are not expressing yourself in the way that would make you ashamed. The king looks and into your file and says, oh, you are a criminal. So this is one point. When we go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask for help, before that we have to make sure that I am not part of this problem. I have done my best. The second thing is that when you go to the king, you should be very respectful to this meeting. Not that you go to the king and while you are speaking to the king, you think about something else and the king realizes that your mind is not with him. Yeah? You are thinking about something else, or you are talking to the person who is next to you, for example, or you are, checking your SMS. You have to be fully attentive to the king. And if someone is fully attentive to the king, he would not dare even looking, right or left. Yeah, even he's not able to speak. Yeah, if you really appreciate the awe that the king has. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Salat has given us this official hearing. He says to us, no matter how many servants I have, no matter what you have done, for every one of you, 5 times of a day, I have a special appointment for you. Even in dunya, if this happens, we start not showing appreciation. If they tell you once in your life you can see the king, you appreciate. But if they do, the king is so kind that says 5 times every day you can see me, you say, oh, this king, it seems that he has nothing to do. Allah is so kind that he says 5 times a day I am available for you. You have a special hearing of me, and there is no limit in what you can ask from me. Ask me for everything. But just make sure that when you come to me, you come with good intention, with honesty. You have made sure that you are not troublesome. Then I am there for you. So how much then we can improve? Imagine if every salat, at least we take one thing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every day we take 5 things from Allah. Then how much we can improve? And there is no reason why we should take only one thing. We can take in every salat lots of things. Now, depending on the way we approach salat, salat would function differently. If you think salat is, na'uzu billah, useless or just a trouble, that we have to do it to get rid of it and then do other things, then yes, it's really a trouble. It's not going to help you. But if you show appreciation to salat, it's going to work for you. And it's going to change you. And there is no limit in what salat can do. So, when it comes to the things that we are recommended in Islam, whether it be salat, whether it be tawakkul, whether it be tafweezul am, inshallah, if I get chance, I will talk about tafweezul am. What does it mean to submit our affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? These are not just some words that you say, and just don't have impact. These are important spiritual tools that can change you completely. Tawakkul is not something easy. If you see tawakkul has not worked for you, it's because you are not really doing tawakkul. You just say tawakkal to Allah. This is not real tawakkul. Otherwise, tawakkul can change your life. Tafweezul amr ila Allah can totally change you if you delegate your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salat can totally change. So, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah to enable us to experience the beauty of salat and to see how much our salat would work for us, so that whenever you have a problem, your first choice would be to say your salat and then ask Allah for help, especially wajibat. Wajibat and fara'is are much more powerful than nawafil. Nawafil are very good, but they help you to better benefit from wajibat. You know, nawafil are like servants for fara'is. They are very helpful, and without nawafil you cannot get anywhere, but they are like servants for the fara'is. And with the fara'is you can gain a lot. So we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us inshallah among true musallin, the people who feel completely connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through their salat, the people that in the time of salat nothing remains between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Their channel of communication is open, they have emptied themselves from any obstacle, and they are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhiru da'wana an alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.